What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your man Chazz Ellis once again answering the questions that you ask me. Make sure you go to the ChazzEllisProject.com, be a part of picking the next video. Also, if you want to get a consultation or you want to make a donation or you want to do a quick question on there, make sure you go to the ChazzEllisProject.com and do any of that stuff. I got a really good question, and it was basically saying, how do you date when you're celibate? That's pretty tough to do nowadays. And one of the big reasons for that is because dudes expect to hit it now. I'm just going to be straightforward and honest with you. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. You know how I do. Dudes just expect to hit it nowadays because that's pretty normal. You know, most of the time dudes are having sex with a girl within 2 or 3 dates, right? Even if it's not you, you know that exists. So it's just so much easier to have sex nowadays that a lot of dudes feel like if a girl's not having sex with them, then she clearly doesn't like them. So that's rough. You know, it makes it more difficult. It's not, if this was like 1940 and you were like, yo, I'm not having sex with you until we get married, you wouldn't get too much. You know, nobody would really say anything. They'd be like, yeah, you're right. I get what you're saying. That's what people do. So nowadays, guys just, you know, it's so easy to have sex that's the uphill battle that you're fighting against. And now you have more people that are abstaining from sex who have already had sex. That's an uphill battle that you're fighting against also, because of the fact that a dude feels like you let this dude hit it and you're not going to let me hit it, which I'm sure you probably heard before. If you're a virgin, it's a little bit easier because that's just an argument that doesn't exist. It's not like he can say that. He can only say, well, if you really care about me, you should let me have sex with you. You know, he got to go with the old school methods that other guys had to do. So, and those are harder, of course. So, yeah, it's a little bit easier if you're a virgin because you can always just say, well, I'm waiting until I get married and no one's had sex with me and you're not either. You know, you can't really play any kind of a fairness or you liked him more card or any of that. Can't do that because, you know, but it's still hard. It's still an uphill battle, don't get me wrong, because guys expect to have sex. And there's so many girls out there who are willing. So when I tell people what you should do if you want to try to date when you're celibate, is you have to think of a couple things. Number one is you really have to ask yourself why you're doing this. If you're doing this as a part of some kind of a strategy, if you're doing this to try to get guys to be more serious about you, if you're doing this to try to get a guy to react in a certain way and give you a certain thing, I would say it's probably a bad idea. I'm going to be real with you. And the reason why I say it's a bad idea is because when you're trying to bargain with a guy in that kind of way, like I'm withholding sex until you give me what I want, the reason why it generally doesn't work out is because it's not going to be something that you believe in. And if you don't believe in it, it's not something you're going to stick to when you're faced with consequences. And what I mean by that is, okay, say you try that and he's like, you know what, girl, I really respect that. I really respect what you're doing, but it's just not something that I want to be a part of. I hope everything works out for you. I hope you find a guy who's interested in what you're doing, but right now I'm just not there. You know, nice way of putting it. You know, he's not a jerk. He's not a scumbag, even though you might want to paint him in that way. He's just a guy who's gracefully bowing out. That's going to probably make you like him even more. And now you feel like you've lost something. So if you're not doing this for any reason other than to try to keep a guy, and now you're about to lose him, you're gonna crumble, you're gonna cave. You're not gonna be able to stop yourself because you're gonna be like, I don't even really believe in this. I was trying to do this because I was reading a book that said I should make you wait, or I was reading a book that said I should wait till marriage, or I talked to my aunt and she said if I wait, then you're gonna be more interested in me, and now you're leaving. So you're just gonna crumble. And all that does is make the dude lose respect for you because he's like, okay, you sat here and told me that you were gonna wait until you got married or you know, whatever you were trying to do. You told me that, and now because I said I don't want to talk to you anymore, you're just gonna leave. How many dudes you done this with? You know, get out of here. You're not real about your word. When you say you're going to do something, you just tap out or bow out whenever, you know, it gets tough and pressure gets on you. That shows people that you don't have integrity. So you don't want to put yourself out there and put yourself and try to do something that you know you don't really believe in and you're trying to just do as a strategy. because whenever it gets tested, it's going to make you look worse. So that's something you want to be careful about. Why are you doing this? If it didn't produce a guy for you, would it still be something that you'd want to do? If it didn't work, would it still be something you want to do? Because you have to understand, when you decide to do this, when you decide to abstain from sex, you're going to lose some guys along the way. Period. You're going to lose some guys along the way. You have to understand that. You have to be okay with that. If you're not okay with that, then it's not going to work, because all you're going to do is lose a couple guys you really wanted to be with, and probably let the dude that you really didn't want to be with that much, you can probably let him hit it, because just out of desperation. I'm just being real with you. I'm being honest. That's what generally happens. So make sure this is something that you really, really, really want to do and really believe in, and it is not attached to results. It's just something that makes you feel better. If that's the case, you can have righteous indignation and you can stick with it. And then after that, the big thing is, don't make a big deal out of it. A lot of times women just get too big on the whole abstaining thing. Like, I'm not having sex no matter what. And look, you need to understand that before we even go out, and make a big deal out of it. So then it makes it even more of a challenge for the dude. But not only that, it kind of becomes a little bit insulting. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. You just don't have to have sex. You don't have to make no announcement. What my man say in that movie Coolie High, you ain't got to make no speech, man. You don't got to make no speech. All you got to do is just do your thing. You know, if you don't want to have sex, just don't do it. You don't got to make a big speech about it. And that's going to make it a lot easier for you, because now it doesn't become an insult. It doesn't become like a challenge to the guy. It's just a thing where you're just not doing it. And if he asks you about it, you know, you say, well, you know, I'm not really interested in trying to have sex right now. You know, at this stage in my life, this is not what I'm doing. If you're a virgin, just say, you know, I'm not having sex. I'm waiting. You know, whatever the case may be. If you're had sex before and you want to wait till you get married, just say, hey, I'm right now, I just want to wait till I get married. And I understand if you don't want to be a part of that. When you come out and you say it like that, a lot of times a guy, of course he's going to keep trying to have sex with you. Don't get it twisted. Dude's going to keep trying to have sex with you. But you said what you had to say, and it made it a little easier for you, because now it's not something where it's an insult or you're trying to challenge the dude. It's just a matter of fact. And then you also, third is, you want to make sure that you don't put yourself in a position where sex is on the table. Like, and this is what makes relationships hard. If you want to be in a 3, 4, 5, 6 month or 6 year relationship not having sex, that's not going to work. Let's keep it real. But anyway, you got to make sure that you don't put yourself in sex situations. Like, you don't go over his house at night, or really even during the day, like, unless there's other people there. You don't want to put yourself in positions where sex is going to be an option. You want to kind of try to do fun things with them that don't really cost a lot of money all the time, because the dude ain't going to want to keep spending money on you every single day of the week and not having sex. He's going to start feeling used. Just keeping it real. So you're going to have to do stuff with him that shows him that you're interested also. We'll get to that later. But just don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be stuck, where sex is going to be pressured. And also what I was saying about, if you're waiting till you get married, you're going to have to make a decision quick. You can't be doing these long-term engagements of 6 to 8 years and all that bull crap in 3, 4, 5 years. You're going to have to make your move quick, because any dude that's had sex before, you have to remember, not only are you abstaining from sex, but so is he. And he probably is not voluntarily abstaining from sex. He's abstaining from sex to be with you. That's messed up. So you got to understand that if you don't make your move quick, if he's starting to decide to get married, you're going to have to make that move quick, because that's how it used to be. People didn't stay all up underneath each other for 5, 6 years before they got married. Otherwise, somebody would have hit it. So you got to make sure you look into that. And also, next thing is, make sure that you make the relationship mutually beneficial for both of you. Don't just sit there, and I've talked about that before when I was talking about holding the cookie hostage. Don't make it to where it's just about him doing stuff for you and you're not having sex with him, because eventually the dude's going to get tired of that. He's like, you know what? And what you might run into is, y'all get in a relationship, he finally does hit it, and then he just leaves. because you haven't really built up any equity with him, and it hurts even worse because he has built equity with you. So make sure you're building during that relationship and showing him that, hey, it is about more than just sex, and I'm giving too, and I do care about you, and I am interested. It's not one of these things where I'm playing you, because a lot of women play that game where they're like, oh, I'm abstaining from sex, and realistically, they're having sex with a bunch of people. So, and some guys have been through that. So, you got to make sure that you show that you're not that type of person. Hopefully, I was able to help you out. Once again, it's your man Chazz Ellis. Make sure you hit me up on the ChazzEllisProject.com. If you want to get a consultation, if you want to make a donation, if you want to ask a quick question, go to the ChazzEllisProject.com shop page, and you can find all of that stuff on there. Also, hit me up on AskChazzEllis on Facebook. Make sure you share this video with somebody you know needs it, or somebody just want to be entertained. Make sure you also like and subscribe. Peace.